In-game live on a Monday night on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency, and I think all of you will certainly be, looking forward to the picks, and I promise there are plenty. But we also have, I think, a bit of time to spend on what was a very loud day in the National Football League. We knew one blockbuster trade was coming. I do not think we knew that Myles Garrett was going to land on the Los Angeles Rams, the already Super Bowl favorites. Gabe, go stronger. They ship out Jared Verse along with 3 other draft picks, including a 2027 first-round pick. Myles Garrett to L.A.
I thought the big news of the day was Juju Smith-Schuster signing with the New York Giants earlier in the day.
Giants old wide receiver signings.
Yeah, and it was a big day when nobody is really cares or gives a meh about Odell Beckham's return to the Big Apple as well. But listen, the Los Angeles Rams do things their own way, right? They do things their own way, and it's hard to argue they don't do things the right way. And I can't help but think of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, who are playing in the Stanley Cup Finals, actually starting tomorrow, in which they don't worry about upsetting people. They don't worry about letting players go. They don't worry about firing coaches. They don't worry about anything besides what they think is for the best, like right now, to win. And the Los Angeles Rams started this. They went to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, right? They went to a Super Bowl, and it wasn't his fault they lost that game, but they thought, you know what? He's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford is. They go all in. It works for them. Everybody criticized them. Oh, they're going all in. They're going to have to pay the bill for this after they, they won the Super Bowl. But, man, they gave up a lot. And, they have a lot of cap problems. Well, really, Kevin? They draft well. They've got a brilliant front office and scouting department. And they actually get players that are able to contribute that are 4th-round draft picks, the 7th-round draft picks, to undrafted free agents. They expect you to play. A lot of teams will draft a player in the 5th or 6th round, and they're rolling the dice. The Rams draft you. They expect you to actually be good and be able to contribute. And last time, Kevin, they won the Super Bowl was in Los Angeles. They went all in. This year, the Super Bowl is in Los Angeles, and once again, they're going all in.
I respect the all-in nature. I like that they're lining it up with the game being in their home stadium. I actually think that's a savvy move. I do think, and people won't like this, makes the Ty Simpson pick only worse. The Rams are acting as if the NFL is going to close up shop, Gabe, at the end of this season, except for the Ty Simpson pick. It's, you're all in. We need a parachute in case Stafford retires or gets hurt or whatever. No. That, just be all in. But, Gabe, I'm trying to remember a trade. Truly, people are going to give grades on the Myles Garrett deal. This is a pass-fail situation. It's not I saw someone gave it a C. It's like, okay, whatever. They either win the Super Bowl or they don't. If they win the Super Bowl, it's an A. If they don't win the Super Bowl, Gabe, it's a bad trade. I think it's pretty simple the way this works for the Rams. And I think some of that
Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Myles Garrett isn't retiring after next year either, though, Kevin.
That's what they said about Aaron Donald.
Well, if they won the Super Bowl and he retired, I think they'd be okay with it.
Right? Yeah. No, I know, Gabe. Right.
It's like the Raptors winning and losing Kawhi after. It's like, yeah, right, well, whatever, dude. Yeah. The banner went up. You're not here. Good for you.
Yeah.
So if they were to win, but they line this up, yet I think one thing I thought, because I got to be honest with you, Kevin, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, my God, this is unbelievable. They got Myles Garrett. I didn't realize, they gave up Jared Verse. I did, seconds later, but my initial thought was, oh, boy, they did it again. I was like, oh, God, Jared Verse and Myles Garrett together. It's going to be a killer, right? And it was like, no, they actually gave up Jared Verse. So if you're Cleveland, listen, you got off the hook for a ton of money. You weren't winning with them. It's just been this constant drama over the years. And you ended up getting Jared Verse out of the deal, right? So I think if you're Cleveland, actually, all things considered, it wasn't a bad day for the Browns, and it was business as usual for the LA Rams.
Yeah, I think most Browns fans are pretty happy with it. Myles Garrett went very NBA. This is what NBA guys do, Gabe. They sign the deal to get the most money possible, wait a year, and then get out of there. I'm still waiting for Devin Booker to request a trade this summer, just like he pulled that move, over in the desert. So it worked perfect for Myles Garrett. There's no question about it.
I want to throw this out there, too, for people Jared verse. And listen, it's an easy, low-hanging joke. You're going from the Rams to the Browns. You're going from Los Angeles to Cleveland, Ohio. Clearly, this is going to be a lifestyle change for Jared verse. But not really. He's from Dayton, Ohio. Right? So he's going home. Right?
Yeah, but Gabe, isn't the counter? He knows Dayton, Ohio. He knows the Browns. And he's like, oh, gosh, I know the Browns. I don't want to be a Brown. I'm well aware.
I can't. Yeah, but
you know what I mean, Gabe?
Maybe he's got this. I'm going to be the one to turn it around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I mean,
cue this, Kevin. Cue this to Schefter reporting tomorrow. Yeah, Jared Verse isn't going there. Like he's like they told him. They told him, you better trade me now because I'm not. I'm never showing up to Cleveland. But just for the record, people wondering, played at Florida State. If you think about it, the kid played at Florida State, plays for the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be his first little snow adventure and cold weather games, but he actually is from Dayton, Ohio.
I mean, those December games are going to be rough. I think everybody thinks the Browns did well for themselves. I've been calling for them to trade Myles Garrett for a little bit now. So I think it's totally fine. And to actually get back a guy you feel good about is exciting. My only other take on this game, and I'm curious where you land on it, but if you're clearly now the Browns' number one goal next season is not winning games, right? Deshaun Watson cannot start for this football team. It just can't happen. There's no rational argument to give Deshaun Watson the job week number 1.
No, I can't. Listen, I can't dispute this, but dude, getting into the head of the Cleveland Brown organization, Kevin, is a hard thing to do. You need a team of professional psychiatrists from Switzerland, sort of like a whole school, a university of professors studying all the Browns' moves. Kevin, they took 2 quarterbacks, and the 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs were the first 5 picks last year in the draft. They draft like it's fantasy football, right? So it's not like they know what they're doing. And I got to be honest with you as well. I have zero confidence in the head coaching hire in Todd Monken.
Right.
None whatsoever. So what are they going to do? I mean, I guess, listen, what everybody thinks in the football world, Kevin, is that they're going to suck. And that they're in the mix for, is it Dante Moore? Is it Arch Manning? Who's going to be that quarterback next year in what's supposed to be a loaded quarterback class, or at least, heavy with a couple of stars. But, I'm looking it up right now as we speak, Kevin. And I thought we were going to throw out some Dallas Wings picks here, but you start off with the NFL.
Feel free to rip
them
before the break. We got about 45 seconds.
All right, so listen, what are you going to do? It's 12, 13. It's up to 13 points right now.
It's a crazy number.
Yeah, so if you want to lay the points, fine. I'm going to lay a little small play on the points. I'm not in love with it, but we'll lay a little bit. I just went to 13.5. I just tipped off. But it's good money line parlay material, essentially, here, Kevin. Right? Yeah. I played Dallas with Team Canada soccer under later. Dallas with the Carolina Hurricanes total tomorrow, etc. That's the way I'm going to approach this Dallas game. I already did. I got loaded up with Dallas Wings money line parlays.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. The number is so big, I wanted to bet Seattle. The fact that Seattle is not on my card tells you a lot. That's how bad the Storm are playing right now. Dominic Malonga's been out for 2 weeks with a concussion as well. So, awesome to show my Friday card. We're going to take a quick break. We're rocking and rolling on a Monday. All right, it is in-game live. There are still a lot of stories I want to get to, but it is in-game live. Wings are off and running. Storm haven't scored 3 minutes in, so it might be one of those games. I didn't touch that total either. I'll get involved with the late game. A couple of Major League Baseball games are live right now, Gabe, including a Rangers-Cardinals game that I'm on under 7.5. That's McGreevy against DeGrom. Do you have anything baseball-wise live right now, or waiting? I know Dodgers are out in Arizona.
I do, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing, actually. I've got Alcantara under 18 outs tonight. And, yeah, it's 3-1. The Nationals are winning, but at last check, he's still in the baseball game right now, and his pitch count was relatively light, so he's not getting lit up, and I'm concerned. I don't know if he's going to get into the 7th, but at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if they leave him in through 6. So I've got my eye on the Nationals, hoping that they're going to break this game open, actually. And we're on the Milwaukee Brewers here. They're tied 2-2 right now with the San Francisco Giants. A lot of runs in this game early, Kevin. We're only in the bottom of the 2nd inning. There's already been 4 runs there.
Wow, that thing completely opened up. You're right, Gabe. In the 2nd inning there, Duran has the ball from Milwaukee, Raup for the Giants. You know, that Alcantara start was fascinating to me. Washington game was about minus 140 or so. And I know the Nats are playing better baseball, but I'm curious how much they're throwing Cade Cavalli. How much of that is the Nationals getting respect? How much of that is odds makers being done with Sandy Alcantara? And maybe gamblers willing to fade the name. Like Gabe, you stepped up to the plate willing to fade Sandy Alcantara, right? Like, I think that is noteworthy here.
Well, I was thinking, you know what? He's not going to go 7 innings tonight, right? Yeah. Against, a scrappy Nationals offense. And in hindsight, I probably should have taken the Nationals, but you're right. It shows a complete lack of respect right now. And you and I have talked about this, in which have they held on too long? What are they really going to be able to get on the trade market now for him? It might be a case where he gets a shot in the arm and I don't think he's done, Kevin, right? You know what I mean? I don't know what his problem is. If it's is he tipping his pitches? Is it a fatigue? Is it this? Is it that? I don't know the reasoning why he hasn't been on top of his game, but I'm not ready to completely write him off.
Yeah, I think assuming he gets traded this year, I don't know. I think it's all going to depend on what you give up. I typically don't care about prospects. I just think it's on the board, Gabe, that a team trades for Sandy. I think if a desperate team trades for Alcantara, Gabe, it'll be bad. Like, let's be honest. If the Dodgers trade for Alcantara, everyone's going to be like, oh, gosh, here comes Cy Young form, right? But if the Diamondbacks do it, they'll be like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work out for that. You know what I mean, Gabe? Like, I think the landing spot would matter a lot with a guy like Sandy. I think
the clubhouse could matter as well, right? So I understand what you're talking about, but who's like, could it be around certain people that'll sort of get him going again, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if he was on the Toronto Blue Jays in that clubhouse, or if like you said, if he got dropped on the Atlanta Braves or the Dodgers, it'd be like, oh boy, here he goes. I mean, hell, Eric Lauer looked good for the Dodgers in his first start for them. Yeah. It's just one of those weird things. Guy was giving up like 8 runs a game for the Blue Jays, but he went to the Dodgers and, he actually pitched well in his debut. But I get what you're saying with that, but he's still a valuable asset to a team that I don't think, quite frankly, he'll have to give up all that much for, to be honest with you.
Yeah, most likely not. Speaking of valuable assets, A.J. Brown traded. We knew that was coming, Gabe. We knew A.J. Brown was going to get dealt. I think that makes what the Eagles did here impressive, because everybody knew that he wanted out of Philly, and Philly was done with him. And the Eagles are like, guys, we can't trade him during the draft. It's going to ruin our cap. So basically, they had no leverage and still got a first-round draft pick, plus, a back-end fifth-round pick out of the New England Patriots here. And I think that's somewhat because New England matched their desperation. The Patriots needed a number 1 wide receiver. Their wide receiver core was getting worse and worse and worse. And the only person Vrabel seemingly was interested in, Gabe, was A.J. Brown.
And if there's one market, Kevin, that I've never been able to figure out, is the wide receiver market in the National Football League. In what a wide receiver is worth, especially sort of not an aging wide receiver, but not a what I mean, a little bit older wide receiver, the name wide receiver. And I got to believe that if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan and you're the Eagle organization, you cannot believe what you got back for him.
Yeah.
Like how many teams, like I think you just nailed it. Like, okay, the Patriots and Diana Rossini was obviously on top of this one, right? Like Patriots wanted this dude. You're an Eagle fan, Kevin. I don't know, like how many other teams in the National Football League were like knocking on the Eagles' door? So what's going on with A.J. Brown? What's going on with A.J. Brown? We want to get A.J. Brown. We need A.J. Brown on our team. Like how many, like the Patriots were almost bidding against themselves. Right? Yes. So like to me, when I saw, I was like, there's no way in hell a first round pick, right? Like honestly, like me, if I'm coming in with this, I'll be like, I don't know, dude. I was a 4th and a 6th sounder. Like, you know what I mean? It's sort of like, I'll sit down and drink with you and be like, I'm not going to sell you, but 4 and 6. All right, 3 and 5, late 3-5. Yeah. Like, what do you like? What And I'd be like, whoa, 1. I'd be like, all right, nice seeing you, Kevin. And I'd get up and I'd be walking out of the room. I'd be like, I'm not giving you a first round pick for A.J. Brown and another pick. So if I'm the Eagles, I'm like, I can't believe we got this.
You know, Gabe, I'm glad because I see it the same way. I saw some Eagles beat reporters being like, yeah, Eagles really got ran here. Look what Jalen Waddle went for. They have to wait till 2028. I'm like, first of all, nobody in Miami hated Jalen Waddle, and Jalen Waddle didn't hate Miami. Okay? So that's a whole different conversation. And by the way, who cares if the pick's in 2028? The Eagles will probably trade it anyway. Who cares? That the pick is in 2020, who cares? Versus 2027. It makes no difference. It would have been better for the Pats if they traded the 26th pick because that was 31st. But instead they had to trade a 28th pick. So, yeah, we're off and running here. It's in-game live. All right, guys, we're here on In-Game Live, and again, a very busy day in the sports world. There's a number of, the NFL trades, obviously, just totally crazy. I was getting a chuckle out of the MLBPA. We'll get to a couple different things, but Gabe, I know you're going to be on some soccer tonight, so I was trying to, do a little bit of extra, some World Cup research, right? We're all kind of, getting there. And I don't know if you're familiar with ELO rating, but it's, for anybody that doesn't know, it's like a public power rating of the international teams. I am not saying it is perfect, right? But from my understanding, Gabe, think of it like Ken Palm, right? Like, hey guys, you don't have to treat it like a Bible, but there's some value to it. So Gabe, I start going through this and, there's a couple of things the odds don't agree with. But what's really jarring is how different it is from the FIFA World Rankings. And, Gabe, I went through this ELO rating. And do you know that the USA in their group ranks 4th out of the 4 teams in the rating? And yet are booked as favorites to win their group? Slight. But, man, I've heard you mention a few times, like, guys, this USA group is not easy. Forget not easy. They look like, again, one rating, they're the worst team.
I got to tell you what's crazy. I saw, and I like Tyler Twellman. I think he does a great job, very passionate about the sport, etc. Played for Team USA. But I saw him say that final 16, anything less would be a failure.
Wow, that is wrong. That is wrong. I don't know who it was. I saw somebody. It was a former player the other day. I want to get the name right. Anyways, it was a former player. It was on the Rich Eisen show. And they were asked, what do you think about the USA? And he goes, listen, man. He goes, I don't want to be that guy and have everyone hate me, but he goes, this isn't easy. He goes, there's a lot of people that are delusional to think like this is some sort of, and he brought up, he goes, Turkey or Turkey. He goes, that's like a game that's not going to be easy to win. He basically brought up, like, if they don't win against Paraguay, they're going to have big problems, Kevin. Yeah.
Like that first game, and that was the emphasis. You've got to beat Paraguay and get those 3 points. Because everybody else thinking the same thing. They're like, yeah, you know what? We could tie against the USA and sort of like, stretch this thing out a little bit. And like, USA last night exploded with 2 early goals against Senegal. So it looked great early. And then Senegal responded with 2 more. Boom. USA ends up winning 3-2. You don't want to make too much of these friendlies, right? These are just sort of final tune-ups before it gets real next week. So there were some positives and some negatives about the USA team last night, but no, it is not an easy group. I would expect that the U.S. would beat Australia. Not easily, but they should, home pitch should matter, right? This is what it comes down to. Home field should matter.
Yeah. That's a good
I don't
point.
understand,
It's
too. I don't know how you feel about this. I'm shocked, Kevin, that Team USA playing all 3 of their matches on the West Coast. Like, number one, L.A. is more of Mexican country than L.A. country is when it comes to soccer. Just point blank, right? So it's not I'm just saying, like, it's not like USA is L.A. is some hotbed for U.S. soccer. It isn't. Right? Kansas City. Like, I don't understand why you didn't drop a game in Midwest. Like, they would have went nuts. Like, drop a game in the Midwest in KC. I'm really shocked that they didn't get 1 game at MetLife, Team USA. Like, I figured it would have been like, you know what I mean? All right, play one in New York or Boston, the Patriots, Revolution, whatever, dude. Play in Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we're playing 2 games at SoFi and 1 in Seattle. Right, so Seattle is a soccer hotbed. Like, that'll be great atmosphere. I'm not saying LA won't be, but I'm just saying, strange to me that they didn't spread it around more, the Team USA. But they're going to be in tough, bro. Like, they're going to be in tough, Kevin. And those FIFA rankings, those are like,
no, Gabe. So can I make a point?
They really suck, the FIFA rankings.
So just to give people an idea, on the FIFA rankings, the United States is 16th. Okay, the ELO ratings, which are updated, I believe, as of yesterday or today. The USA is 36th. But here's the better part. On the FIFA rankings, Paraguay is 40th. On the ELO ratings, they're 22nd. They're much better than the United States. So, people think that the U.S. have this birthright to be good at every sport that I've never understood. Like, we're good at basketball, we're good at football. Like, ask Donnie about what he thinks the USA soccer team should be. He goes, I don't understand. We should have won gold by now. Like, what are you talking about? All right, back with you guys right here on SportsGrid. It is in-game live. We are following a pretty active Major League Baseball board, a couple of high-scoring games. Miami actually took back the lead against the Washington Nationals all of a sudden here. 4-3. It's interesting now, Gabe, with your outs reported.
Yeah, good job, love lady. Thanks for nothing.
It's a strong name. His parents knew it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gabe, I wonder if they pull him. I don't mean to be ridiculous, but like now that he has the lead, do you trust him?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing actually earlier. I was like, it's going well, but maybe they'll think, maybe we'll save him from himself and get him out of here with some confidence.
Exactly. You can leave with a win, right?
I'm overthinking things. He's only at 68 pitches though.
Yeah, but
he's only at 60.
It's kind of terrible right now. Like,
yeah, you're right. You know what? Too, if they got out of this, you're right. He would be qualified for the win too. So it'd be like, all right, dude, you're qualified for the win. We're going to the pen now. We're going to the pen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Listen, I got 18. It was 18 and a half at a lot of spots, but dude, it was literally like minus 200, minus 210 and stuff at 18 and a half to the under. And I saw 18 at minus 110. Yeah. I was like, all right, I'll play for the push. Like, I don't win that half, but he ain't going 7. He's not going 7, but I like your style of thinking here. See, we're thinking like gamblers, but like we're trying to justify from baseball. No, we're saving him from himself. Don't let him go through the lineup 3 times. Let's get him out of here.
We all do it.
There's a lot of things. It's like call timeout now. Call timeout
now. So we got the live baseball board going. We'll check in on the WNBA. But Gabe, I did want to get your reaction, of course, over the weekend. The NBA Finals got set. And
Wow.
before we talk about some early finals thoughts, what was your reaction to OKC losing Game 7 at home?
No excuses. I don't use injuries as excuses due to the fact that it's a war of attrition, right? Depth matters. Mm-hmm. It obviously hurt losing Jalen Williams, not having him 100%, and even Mitchell. But at the same point in time, I also really don't like blaming one player per se. But let's be real. That was one of the biggest ghost performances in the history of any sport that I've ever seen in my life from Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy went 1 for 2, Kevin. Like, yeah. They were literally playing, and they were already kind of down. So you're already missing a couple of dudes, but you were playing 4 versus 5 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it got to a point. There was one time where it was like the game was like 4-6, and SGA's doing his best to keep him in the game and stuff, and Holmgren had the ball. He had an open look. He doesn't take it. Then he basically turned the ball over, Kevin. And it was like, dude, now like you're not only just like not shooting, but like you're like they had to get him off the floor, but they didn't really have any options. Like that was a look in the mirror, bulk your freaking ass up, bro. Like eat a lot of Pop-Tarts, take steroids. I don't care what you do. You got to bulk up and you got to man up because it's not even a physical thing. Like, dude, he wanted no part of it. He wanted no part of it, Kevin. Like if Chet Holmgren was a fighter, he tapped out.
He did, Gabe. There's no doubt about it. And I want to be clear, I'm not giving him a break for that. Like the offensive side of the ball, it rarely can you say a pro athlete is scared. He was horrified on that side of the ball. But Gabe, this is where I feel like I spent all series. Mark Daigneault has to at some point realize how important Chet is. Guys, we were talking about Chet looking scared in game 1. It went 7. Daigneault did nothing. You would think that Chet Holmgren finished minus 20. No, it was minus 3. Bad. You know who's minus 14? Worst on the team? Isaiah Hartenstein. Wemby's eyes lit up when Hartenstein was out there on the offensive side. Plus, Hartenstein doesn't pull him away from the basket. Like, if Chet had any composure about him, he could have made a huge difference. He didn't need to score 25. He couldn't be what he was. But, I'm not, again, it's more Chet than Daigneault, but how Daigneault, run a play for him. And if he, run another play for him. Like, when you're losing in game 6 by 25, bench everyone but Chet. Leave him out there with Heinrich Willems and Isaiah Joe and say, go find a rhythm. We need you. We've been talking about it for 6 games.
Or at least just pop some threes if you want to be soft and linger on the outside. But he was scared to shoot. And listen, dude, he had 4 points at the half. I took his halftime prop was 9.5. I was like, all right, he's got to give me 6 in the second half. At home in a close game of an elimination game, you got to give me 6 in the second half here, Chet. Couldn't do it. He didn't shoot.
Yeah. He really didn't. He didn't
like I was watching, I was like, I can't believe like this. I was like, one of those I wasn't even mad at myself. I was mad at him. I'm like, dude, like you're an all-star. Like you're supposed to like you just like it was 4-on-5. It was 4-on-5. And the lack of adjustments, let's give credit to the San Antonio Spurs and their mental toughness as well. They just sort of bullied Oklahoma City as it went on. I am surprised, though, to see how big of favorites they are in the series, Kevin. Are you, like, against the New York Knicks? The Knicks are not getting a lot of respect here.
Yeah, I am. I think the Knicks are going to win the finals, just straight up. But I think some of the numbers are crazy. Like, the open at 5.5 was completely wrong, in my opinion, for game number 1. I disagreed with that.
I live with the number in game 1 because I do think we did see the Knicks when they were off for like 10 days against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were down by 22. And if not for the Cleveland Cavaliers just being, the Cavs, basically the Chargers of the NBA, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they found a way to, like, and a change of dynamic of the series, obviously. But the Knicks were a little flat. And we've seen in sports, Kevin, in this cycle, at least this year, in the NHL and in the NBA, you and I talked about it. 3 of the 4 teams lost that were off for a prolonged period of time. That first game back. Hell, the only game Carolina lost in the series, right, was that first game when they were off for 12 days. The Knicks were the only ones. Oklahoma City lost the first game. Who was the other one in hockey that were off? Colorado was off. Forever. They lost the first game. Now the Knicks have been off, man. How long has it been since that Cavaliers series ended? My God.
I think it was a Sunday. So I think yesterday was a week. So I think it's about 10 days off. The thing is, Gabe, and it wasn't as long. I'm not going to pretend it was. But they had a bit of an advantage when they played the Sixers, and they won that game by, I think, 50, 40, right? Like,
yeah.
I think the Knicks are going to be aware. I don't think this is disrespectful to the Spurs. I think the Knicks are better than them. Like, I think the Knicks finally lived up to their potential, but it just happened in the postseason and not in the regular season. Like, I understand the Spurs were better in the regular season, but Gabe, they played 3 times. Shout out the NBA Cup. The Knicks were better than them in those games.
I'm old enough, and it's a good point about the NBA Cup, but I'm old enough to remember the Knicks played the Spurs in the finals before. So we've been down this road before. I can't help but like the cruel irony of this. It's been a hell of a run for the Knicks, but why are San Antonio such heavy favorites? Is it the public? Is it the odds makers that believe?
OKC, Gabe, right? I think that moves the power rating a lot. We saw the
Knicks,
Spurs
the
power
Knicks
rating
should be
get
the public
adjusted
team
in that
here.
series.
Right? The Knicks should be the public team here. They're the underdog. They're the big, mighty, big market team. Yeah, how come there's no money?
Wemby.
How come there's no money on them? Nobody wants them.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what some of those series splits look like. I think it's an interesting point. I know I want them, and I know I'll be ready to bet the New York Knicks in this series. We'll be right back. Update the board here on SportsGrid.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Well, the talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time and he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, here with you on In-Game Live. I'll tell you what, pretty soon, this is going to be a World Cup program.
Oh, boy, can't wait.
I'm getting excited for it. And I'll tell you this, books are starting to step up. I know DK went with a bet and get promo. Everyone's bonuses vary, but you'll basically get a bonus bet for every goal your team scores in the tournament. That's not bad. A couple of profit boosts. And those matter, by the way, right? Like, listen, I know everybody gets down different limits, but if you all of a sudden can take Brazil from 8-1 to 10-1, hey, that's extra money in your pocket, right? So books are starting to step up. That's only going to continue, honestly, as we get closer to this tournament kicking off. And Gabe, I know you've already been placing some futures here. The one thing I will say, and it kind of is what it is, and I think I don't know, Gabe, if you're like officially locked in on your pick. I know you were tweeting about it over the weekend, but I think betting one of the favorites, right, that upper echelon, it makes the most sense because it is almost impossible to put this bracket together. 32 teams are making it to the knockout stage. So trying to be like, oh, let me see who I have meeting in the waste of time. It's honestly, I hate to say that, like, get a feel for the groups, but it's very difficult, Gabe, to be like, yep, I have Spain versus England in the final. Like, they might meet in the round of 16, guys.
It is very chaotic with so many teams. And with the third place teams as well, I have sort of patched it out, and I put a lot of work into this every day, like for the last month or so. I'm actually into it like big time. So I'm sort of going through team by team and the scenarios, and I get lost in you got to assume, right, this team finishes first. If not, then they're going to play this team, etc. But it is chaotic, and this is the first time that we have 3 teams getting through in a group. Not all third place teams get through, though. So just the top third place teams get through, which obviously gives us more leeway, Kevin, for the 2 advanced props, like parlay, right? So USA's minus 700 to advance through the group.
Minus 700?
Minus 700.
Guys,
They're the ones, Kevin. I've been putting parlays together, and I don't want to be anti-American, right? I want to be along for the ride here. Yeah. I was like, I can't put this in the parlay. I was like, nah, man. Like, not at 700. It's too much of a sweat job. It's going to come down to the last game against Turkey. Man, you need points against Turkey. Turkey are good, guys. Turkey are better in the U.S. In the same way Switzerland are better in Canada. Like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're supposed to, like, yeah, we could beat them. But it's like, yeah, but they've been in like 18 World Cups. How many have you been in? Like, you know what I mean?
I will say it is interesting.
There's levels to
it. Like, how did USA end up in this group? Like, I don't want to make everything about the U.S., whatever, but like, I don't understand how. One thing I noticed, Gabe, the winner of Mexico's group, Canada's group, and the U.S.'s group play a third place team. So you can see they were like, we're trying to help you out here a little bit. How did the USA end up in this group?
I know, what's crazy is Canada, what they did, though, everybody got the same thing, Kevin, basically. If you look at the groups, it's basically like the host nations as a host nation. Yeah, and they like the host nations to go through, and the host nations generally do go through. So, like, home field is supposed to matter in soccer. We'll see if it does. Will in Mexico, right? You know it's going to matter in Mexico with the altitude up there and stuff. And Mexico have a very favorable group, right? So each team sort of has like that one tough game of an equal. You know what I mean? Not, if you're France, like Senegal's not an equal, you know what I'm saying? But like Portugal's got to play Colombia. Everybody's got to play somebody. Like Canada plays Switzerland. USA, Turkey. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, all right, you don't get 3 cupcakes. We'll give you 2. Except the only thing is the USA didn't really get a cupcake in Paraguay. Like Canada got Qatar. No offense to Qatar, but like Qatar are very beatable for Canada. Right? Like Paraguay, and don't think for a second there's not going to be a ton of Paraguayans at that game in LA, bro. Like it's the World Cup, Kevin. Like that's why I say like home field won't be equal like for everyone. It won't be the same.
Yeah, no, it's
not.
That's
another reason why I said LA is not the best place. I'm just being real. If you're playing soccer in your team USA, don't put it like in a border state. Point blank. You're going to get ambushed by like the visiting fans. Yeah, you're exactly,
USA
dude.
was getting
And you saw-
booed.
You're getting booed in Houston. Like, you figure Houston.
I still think some of that was
So it's
Astro
not
fans.
Houston. No, it was
You know what I
Houston.
mean?
And then Miami was like, "Hey, you're not the most popular team here." Like, you know what I mean? Just point blank.
But
So it's the same
Gabe,
thing. Like
such a
you put
good
Team
point,
USA,
like-
you put Team USA in Kansas City. Paraguayans aren't going as much. You know what I'm saying? Put in LA, it's like, oh yeah, that's good. It's in LA, Miami, whatever. Like, you know, it's like I'm telling you, I was surprised by that. Like Canada's not stupid. Canada plays, Kevin, against USA and Mexico in the CONCACAF stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Mexico got mad because we scheduled the game we were playing, and we could have played it in a dome in BC. We made Mexico play in the snow in Edmonton in November once, like 2 years ago. Home
like
field.
that.
Yeah, we're like, no, we're not putting it in a dome, and we're not putting it in a city like where your fans are coming. We're putting it in the snowstorm in Edmonton. You want to come from Mexico and sit in the snow? Go ahead. They didn't want to, and we won.
Yeah. No, I like, but it's a really good point about like a rollover. Like, you look at the rest of these group, you know, Germany's in there with Ecuador. Okay, but they both get to just dominate Curacao. They're going to lay 3.5, 4.5 goals in that game. New Zealand is in the group with Belgium. Like,
That's
Belgium's
what I'm
not even
saying.
that
The
good,
U.S.
but Belgium
don't
gets a team to roll.
They don't. Yeah, Belgium's playing New Zealand and Iran and stuff. So
Spain's got Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde.
Yeah. Spain, that's not a party theirs. They're Spain, so they're fine. But I don't know if you saw, Cape Verde just beat Serbia over the weekend 3-0 in one of their tune-ups. Thing with Cape Verde, Kevin.
Going to run.
Yeah. The thing with Cape Verde, just a little quick history note here. It's not a bunch of dudes from like a little island or something like that, Cape Verde. It was, it has Portuguese and Dutch roots from the old like colony days. Bro, they got guys that play for Benfica and born in Holland and born in Portugal.
Little Joel Embiid.
Yeah. In fact, only half the team, and they're not the main starters, are actually born there.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Well, the talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Wow, pressure is on in the nation's capital. Sid Alcantara goes back out for the 7th inning, but the first batter reaches base via single. You got to imagine if he doesn't get this next guy out.
Oh boy, can you believe this? Yeah, I'm fighting for the. I can't get it out. He's got. If he gets pulled after one, I think he got the out here as a pop fly.
Did he? But you know what? It's better than laying the 18.5 minus 210, Gabe.
Yeah. You know what? He's about to get 19 right now, right? So there's the. There it is, 19. There it is. You're right. We roll the dice. It's one of those. It's the thing with baseball, right? You could buy into the trends and the last few games, the pitcher's done this, he's done that, and all hell breaks loose, right? He's hot until Wrobleski was hot until he wasn't, Kevin. Wrobleski was like awesome, right? He was like 5-1. The Dodgers, he's rolling along and like nearly threw a no-hitter. He's got lit the F up like 3 of his 4 starts in a row. It happens. We are on the Brew Crew, and the Brew Crew have extended the lead to 8-2, so that softens the blow a little bit. I don't know how you feel about this game coming up. Sorry, I was going to say, the Rockies and Angels tonight. Any love for that game? I'm actually betting it tonight.
Yeah, I actually really like that game. I like the over 8. I know Jose Soriano's been good. Kyle Freeland cannot start a baseball game with a total of 8 here. Look, I know some books are at 8.5, but the 8s are, ready and accessible. Kyle Freeland is terrible. And Jose Soriano is kind of slowly but surely coming back to earth. So Jose Soriano had a .24 ERA almost at the end of April. About 6 starts into his season, he had a .24 ERA. So the .265 looks great, but he's actually pitching to like a 5 ERA since then, right? So he can give up a couple of runs here, Gabe. I think this is something like, 7-3 LA, 6-4 LA type of situation here tonight.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were some runs this evening. I like the Angels this evening with Soriano on the hill. And listen, Colorado strike out a lot, right? So, and we've got they strike out 9 times a game, 9.02 times a game to be exact. We got a strikeout pitcher on the hill here this evening. His strikeout prop is 6.5. I think he's going to get to 7. I think he probably has 8 tonight, maybe 9. But I think he gets, like last night, Yamamoto rolled over to 6.5. But I think he does get there. But I just softened the blow a little bit, Kevin, because I do like the Halos tonight. So I'm going to play the Angels to win the game and Soriano to get 6 or more strikeouts. Over 5.5, it's minus 120. It's minus 122. And I'll tell you what, like him over 6.5 and then the win was plus 101. So for the 23 cents, I'd rather just have to get to 6 here. But I think that, that's why I did that.
Yeah, I think I'd rather, if the bullpen, whatever type of situation there. Gabe, you want to just throw out the rest of your picks here, though, on this Monday night?
Yeah, you know what? We're going to wrap it up here this evening with Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman has hit Rodriguez well in his career, 10 of 17. Could talk about a small sample size, but 17 at-bats, 10 hits. Give me Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases tonight. And Freddie's been hot as of late. Dodgers' offense has been hot as of late. I just talked about Angels and Soriano. Angels to win over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 122. I mean, the Phoenix Mercury are in fade mode right now, and this Minnesota Lynx team, Kevin, 6-2 on the season. Great road team. Nothing not to like about the Minnesota Lynx tonight, guys, in the association. Give me the Lynx in the W. And we got Canada and Uzbekistan coming up. Canada's one of Canada's World Cup tune-ups. They're playing in Edmonton, and it's been pouring rain. Like, there's a weather advisory. Like, I checked on, like, the weather report on Google, and it's all in red, so you know it's bad, right? Warning and flood and blah, blah. Like, it's pouring. People are talking about the field just being drenched right now. It's gonna slow a soccer ball down, guys. I already like the under 2.5 to begin with, but you throw in a wet pitch here tonight, and Canada's main strikers really aren't going to be playing. I'm seeing the highlight. I'm seeing the pregame now. It's all wet. Under 2.5, Kevin.
All right, for me, the baseball totals we kind of talked about already. Cardinals, Rangers off and running. Angels, Rockies still to come. I think the Mercury are interesting tonight, but I don't trust them enough. I do trust Alyssa Thomas to get a double-double. She hasn't gone 3 straight games without a double-double this season. -126. If it's rebounds, if it's assists, either way, we will take it. Chris, would an Angels first 5 team total over 2.5? I really like that. Milwaukee, Auburn over 13.5 runs. College baseball, Yarnell is back. Mariners money line for AJ against the New York Mets. We'll see you right back here tomorrow in Game Live.
Craig Carton along with Tyrone Johnson. We got great news for you. CraigCartonShow.com. And Tyrone, what do you get if you go to that amazing website?
Well, right now you can subscribe to our upcoming newsletter. You put in your email address, and then bang, you'll get all the new Craig Carton Show content when it arrives.
Not just that, you also get merch drops, exclusive content, and appearances. So again, one more time, that website is CraigCartonShow.com.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Well, the talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of the spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time and he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan.